Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, video, what have you. My name is Adina McCoy and I am recording my contentathon. This is video number 2 in the marathon of content creation, and the title of this video is called 10 Things I've Learned About Building. On our list, acquire assets. If you watched the first video in this series, I talked about what the difference between an asset and a liability is, and acquire assets. In short, an asset is something that generates cash flow. It brings wealth and money to you rather than costing you money. Like I said in the last video, real quick, you might have to actually crunch some numbers to be able to tell if something is an asset. But anyway, if it generates cash flow, if it brings you more money than it is costing you, if it creates a profit for you, more than likely it's an asset. So here we go. Thing number 1, acquire assets. Point number 2, my notes are down there, so yeah. Point number 2, use your assets to afford your liabilities. The wealthy use their assets to afford liabilities. The poor and the working class people typically buy liabilities first. The wealthy do it the other way around. What do I mean by that? Liabilities are things that cost you money, cause you to spend money, and they don't bring money back to you. An example would be, let's say if you're not running a small business and you're not using your money to generate assets, not using your money to generate, I mean your car, okay? A car is what I'm talking about here. If you're not using your car as an asset, if it's not generating cash flow for you, and I don't just mean a salary from a 9-to-5 job, I mean if it's not being used as an asset, it is a liability. And what happens a lot of the times is people buy a car, simple, not to shame anybody who buys a car, but a car is costing you money. You got insurance on the car you have to pay. You got to pay the car note. You got to pay, I don't have a car, so I might be confusing stuff, but you got to pay for gas. You have to pay your lease. I think that's the note. You have to pay, the amount of money that you're leasing the car for. If the car is not making you any money, and again, it might be something that you have to crunch numbers on, like I said, because for example, you could be using the car to go pick up inventory for your business, and your car actually helps you to generate more income. So you might have to actually calculate whether or not the car is bringing in more money than it's costing you, right? So in some examples, your car might be an asset. Who knows? An asset doesn't always mean you have to sell it and make more money. It could mean that it's actually helping you generate some cash flow. But yeah, the point was that the wealthy tend to use their assets, things that generate cash flow, to afford their liabilities. So let's say, for example, a wealthy person, instead of just buying a new car, they would, let's say, buy an investment property, and the profit that they're able to make from that investment property, they could use to buy their new fancy car. This is an example that actually Robert Kiyosaki gave in one of his books about his wife. His wife wanted a newer car, but instead of just going out and buying the car, she actually bought, she used the income that she was generating from their investment properties to be able to afford her car down the line. So that made it a more rewarding experience for her. Next point number 3. So yeah, 2, use your assets to afford your liabilities. Number 3, people can be liabilities. This sounds weird, but it's actually pretty deep, and it's a little bit empowering if you think about it. Okay, so people can be liabilities. What does that mean? It means that the people in your life that you love so dearly can actually be costing you a lot of money. Now, that doesn't mean to go cut people that, you're supposed to love and who've done great, amazing things for you. But what it is saying is that, let's say, for example, who are the people who could be liabilities? Children. Children cost a lot of money to raise and send to school and to provide childcare for. And the elderly, once they start getting sick and can't take care of themselves, you may be responsible for someone that you love who is sick and can no longer take care of themselves. These people, even though they're some of the best people, babies and old people are great, they can be liabilities, which means building wealth and generating cash flow for you is even more important, because you're going to have people in your life that you love that may be dependent on you one day. And so 3, people can be liabilities. So when you least expect it, somebody might be costing you a lot of money. But if you put yourself in a financial position where you can take care of that, or where you can take care of yourself and therefore other people as a result later on, you may be able to rest assured that the people you love will be taken care of. So yeah, 3, people can be liabilities. Sounds weird, but true if you think about it. 4, to find a cause that is larger than yourself. So in all of our attempts to build wealth, we cannot forget about the need for hard work and motivation. And motivation, a lot of the times, is hard to come by when you are focused only on what you will get from a scenario, a situation, or what you're going to do. Because sometimes it's hard to see what you're going to get out of it, to be honest. Sometimes it might have to take you trying something and failing and doing a crappy job, or making some mistakes and being willing to go through that process before success happens for you. But you're going to need motivation to do that. Find a cause that is bigger and more important than just you and what you will get out of it, that can act as great motivation and fuel for your goals and your personal and financial well-being.